Hey peeps, we are back. We are talking The Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 16, Episode 11. Hey, before we get into the video, please do me the honors of subscribing to my channel, hitting the notification bell so you can always be notified when I post new content, hitting the thumbs up because that does wonders for my channel, and share. Thanks. This episode is brought to you by Ryan's Bib. I had to do it. Moving on. So this episode pretty much gets started with Jen having a little dinner with Shannon, Heather, and Heather's friend Tawnie, who Heather is absolutely trying to Tawnie and Orange. We have seen her multiple times, her and the other lady that she invited to her dinner party. I think Michelle, I'm not sure. I like the dinner party lady with the burgundy dress. I like her. Jennifer is talking to her about this Ryan situation, and Heather, if you ask me, she is clearly promoting her new television show with Pary, where they are these supposed relationship gurus and they're going to help people fix their relationships. I'm not into it. I will not be watching that show at all, but I just feel that she's using this situation to market her new show. And you know, I don't blame her. Her and Lisa Barlow would be best friends. Both of them definitely know how to market their products, and I appreciate it. I mean, I would definitely take marketing advice from Heather Dubrow and Lisa Barlow. Absolutely. Jennifer was saying that she found out that the mortgage payment was late, so she called Ryned, and I can't even say that with a straight face, Ryned. And she, pretty much pitched a fit because I guess that's one of his duties while he's home with the kids, is he's supposed to pay all the bills. What I would have done was check the bank, make sure that we had the money, pay the mortgage, and talk to Ryan after work face to face. I don't think that I would have called him from the office, having a complete connection. The most important thing is that we have the money, number one, and number two, that it gets paid. That's what I would have done, but I am not Jennifer. So then we see Noella, who is at a friend's house. And I chuckled a little bit. I said, look at Noella, friend of the show, visiting somebody else and bringing this lady onto the show. Anyway, she was telling her about how mediation went with Sweet James. And it turns out that Sweet James didn't show up. And I said, well, why is she so upset about Sweet James not showing up? Because wasn't it just a couple of episodes ago when she was saying that she didn't want Sweet James in the room with her? She didn't want to see him. She didn't want him even being close to her at all. She wanted him to leave from a different exit. Well, he gave you everything you wanted. He came via FaceTime, and he was on FaceTime in a whole nother room with a different group of people. She didn't even get to see Sweet James. I don't understand why she is not pulling it all together. The man went to Puerto Rico and filed divorce. He hadn't spoken to you or talked to you since. Clearly, things are over. They are over. Sweet James went online, had a couple of videos out there, talking about how allegedly she is extremely toxic. There was a lot of drug usage in the relationship, allegedly, and he's just done. Girl, get over it. They talked about how he didn't even want or ask for any of his possessions that were left at the house. Listen, she keeps telling us that she doesn't have any money, that she doesn't know what to do, she doesn't have a job. Well, honey, your job should be packing up all Sweet James things and selling it. I would be auctioning off those $1,500 bottles of wine faster than you could say wine. Okay, call Jennifer and see if she's interested in buying any of this wine. She's definitely not going to be interested in any of those clothes and shoes because, Ryan doesn't wear clothes and shoes. But the wine, she's interested in. And honey, listen, Heather goes over to Gina's house. She is going to help her clean out her closet and, help work on her style. One thing I can say is she was nicer to Gina at Gina's house than when some of the other ladies went by. Some of the other ladies last season made fun of Gina and her small home. And I'm going to tell you this, I don't think her home is that small, number one. And number two, I really appreciate Gina and respect Gina for working hard and living within her means.
It's just going to get worse.
You're going to be the mentor?
I am. James ended up FaceTiming in. I didn't hear his voice. I didn't see him.
Did he ask for anything of his personal stuff? Like his wine that's, like $1,500 a bottle?
Zilch.
Oh my God, look, this reminds me of being in college.
That's like for a Western day.
You mean like a costume?
No.
Gina doesn't really understand her own personal style yet. I want Gina to dress young and fresh, but still professional and edgy.
Letting go of this dress represents me letting go of this life that I thought I was going to have.
Drinking too much.
Well, you told her.
I told her.
Like seriously, like for one of our friends to try and take it away from me is wrong. Honestly, like there's not much more of Shannon that I can take. Shannon.
Your libido's not low. That's one area you're okay.
I know, but why
That's
is
because of
that?
me.
We've never experienced this level of intimacy with any other partner.
When she said, do you even have any friends? That was the meanest thing that she said to me.
Confidence is super attractive, and cockiness is not.
Now listen, those pink leather jackets that Heather brought over, again, like I said before, Heather is a market person. Okay, she is always going to market her business. Those two jackets came from her own personal collection, Heather's Closet. And so I said, girl, you gonna make a way anytime. I appreciate it. It seems to me that Heather is grooming Gina to be a little Heather. Heather did make a little comment at Gina's house that her kid's room reminded her of a college dorm, but I'm going to take that in a positive. I'm going to take that she found it very refreshing or something to relive those college days. Something. I don't think she meant anything bad by it. I do just think that Gina's a grown woman and she should be able to have her own style, whether we like it or not. Now, when Gina talks about her wedding dress, I totally get it. I actually had a few tears for her. I understand that letting go of that dress is letting go a dream. And I realize that she's moved on. She's with Travis. They're happy. They're in a healthy relationship. And I think that's wonderful. But I understand it being hard getting rid of that dress. But I did think it was a great idea that she decided to give the dress to another bride. I think that Gina looked absolutely gorgeous in her wedding gown. And now another young lady will be able to wear that gown and be just as gorgeous. So I appreciate that she's donating. Now, I don't know if Emily has ever mentioned this before, but I had no idea that her sister actually carried Annabelle for her. I do remember at one point, I think it might have been her first season on the show, she mentioned that she had some fertility problems, but I thought that she actually carried her children herself. I think this is great. This is a really special, loving relationship that she has with her sister. So I think that's wonderful. And I was really happy to see that. And it was really nice to see Annabelle being baptized. I know it meant a lot to Emily and Shane. So that was nice that they included us in that. Emily was lying her butt off when she told Gina that she was drinking. She was so drunk when she told Shannon what Gina told her. And you know what? To me, that's just a whole bunch of high school. It's really high school. Gina does say that she absolutely knew that Emily was going to share the information with Shannon, and she pretty much was okay with it. But at the same time, she's sick of Shannon. Honey, we are sick of you. Shannon did not do anything to you. So far this season, you're doing everything to Shannon. Shannon has not harassed you. Shannon has not gone and told stuff that you told her. It's the other way around. You and Emily are using Shannon for a storyline this season, and it's really bad. And I think the problem is they believed because Tamara and Vicky were gone that they would be able to just gang up on Shannon and Shannon would take it. That's just my opinion, but that's not the case. I think that Shannon is doing a really good job holding her own. She told Emily and Gina something off camera, asked them not to bring it up, period. They both agreed, and as soon as they had the opportunity on camera to bring it up, they did, because otherwise Gina and Emily have nothing to discuss. I think that Emily is being very immature this season. Honey, listen, Shannon storms Bador. Shannon storms Bador. Who would have ever thought that I would be Team Shannon? I am so here for Shannon. And listen, honey, you and your libido. Shannon just wanted David to know that she was having the sex and that it was some good sex. And her and John are doing things she never did with David. Girl, I hear you. I understand. You want David to know what he's been missing. Oh my gosh, and what John's been getting. I am with you, Shannon Storms Bedore, okay? I am so happy that she has John supporting her, because when she was with David, David was not a supporter. David would half listen, and then when he got finished listening, he would just roll his eyes and go on about his business. I mean, I don't know. John seems to care more about Shannon's feelings, and I like that. I really do. I'm glad that Shannon has somebody in her corner. And you know, Shannon has lost weight. Online, she's been posting, she says that she lost about 14 pounds. When you see her in her photos that she posted online, 14 pounds makes a huge difference. And I never knew that 14 pounds would make such a difference. The woman looks gorgeous. So her and John talked about how Gina said that she was jealous of her. I'm telling you right now, Shannon Bedore is not jealous of Gina. Not at all. Shannon tells John that her and Gina have had multiple conversations talking about the skincare business, considering that both of them have skincare lines and they've been throwing ideas off of each other. So she's not exactly sure why all of a sudden she thought Shannon was jealous of her. I have no idea. As I said, I'm just assuming that this is for storyline purposes, that, you know, Gina doesn't have that much going on. I certainly agree with John when he says confidence is super attractive, cockiness is not. I absolutely agree with him with that. And that comment she made about Shannon not having a lot of friends, well, you know what, honey? If you need to be friends with somebody with a lot of friends, call Ramona Sanger. You know, Shannon does not have to have 60 friends. I don't know what Gina is thinking, but I can tell you this. When someone gets older, your group of friends gets smaller, and you realize the people that really are there for you, the people who are ride or die for you, and the people that you don't need. I'm telling you right now, I would rather have 3 to 4 really good girlfriends than 60 girls that you can't count on. I'm just saying, I don't understand that. Why was that supposed to be a read? Why is that supposed to make Shannon feel like she's a bad person because she doesn't have 67 friends? I'm just saying, Gina, grow
Why couldn't the
up.
dog have come? Like, who doesn't like that dog?
Has never had a sip of alcohol in his life.
Never. Marijuana?
No,
Cocaine?
no.
Heroin?
A little strange having shoes on, but it's all good.
I love the socks, though. It's good.
I don't wear shoes very often.
Wow.
Sports, a lot of gambling.
Gambling?
Never really had a job.
What is your husband's name? Ryned. Ryned. Okay. Like an orange rind. Future chair angulated towards me and a little bit in to women's underwear. It may not be the best thing in the world, but it's the closest thing to it.
Oh, dear.
I don't want to dirty my shirt.
What are we protecting? The one shirt?
He had white Louis Vuitton sunglasses on. I'm like, who the does that at a breakfast buffet? Sorry, I'm like totally condescending like everything that's in front of me on drinking scale right now. It's very good. I'm telling you, it's very good. It's very good. I don't give a who you're like, who's judging you. This is really good. Where are we going?
You need to stop drinking.
He has a really good wine.
Let's be honest. They're a mess.
Now, honey, listen. I'm going to tell you right now. This episode was really boring into the last 6 minutes. Now, Heather at this party, I would say right now, she says that this party, she didn't have a lot of time to get it together. So it's a little more simple than some of her other parties. I said, ma'am, this party is gorgeous. She had menus written up, even though she was upset that the mouge bouge came after the chopped salad. You know, I'm like, Jen, what is a mouge bouge? It turns out it's some kind of French palate cleanser, and I'm positive I'm saying it wrong. You know, I don't even care. It turned out it was some sort of onion soup with a little bread on the top of it. I don't know. I wouldn't want it. I'm just saying. I'm not bougie enough for that bouge. But anyway, she said she didn't know if she was going to be able to make it through the night. She was going to be ticked about this, menu snafu because she didn't have, she only had a week to pull this together. Heather is so bougie. Terry, she was telling Terry that Ryan's name is Ryan or whatever. And Terry was completely confused. He said, it's going to take me some time to get my mind around it. And I get it, Terry. I really do. What? Ryan? Like a orange Ryan. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. That is a no. Your name's Ryan. And that's what I'm going to refer to you as. I just can't do that, Ryan. Anyway, it just doesn't even roll off the tongue. I'm moving on. I'm sorry, peeps. So, Ryan and this dog, he wanted to know why he couldn't bring the dog to the dinner. Now listen, Ryan, this is starting to be extremely awkward. It really is. It's really hard to watch and cringy. What is going on with this dog? Now my thing is this, Ryan, listen. That dog needs a rest. That dog needs a nap. That dog is somewhere at the house with the kids, walking around on his own four paws, living his life, saying to himself, look at me, being a dog. I'm not being carried around and stroked and petted. I mean, really, leave this dog alone. Now, that is how I felt at the beginning when he was standing at the door having a little tantrum. But after that dinner, I'm thinking that dog is a support animal. And maybe things would have been better for him if he had brought his dog. I'm just saying, my gosh, that wife of his, that woman was a full-on wreck. Oh, this is good wine. Oh, this wine is really good. I should do the toast to women's underwear. I mean, really? I mean, did you see the look on those people's face? Those are really rich, uppity, bougie people that just came there for the mooge-booge and the good conversation. But they only got the mooge-booge and no good conversation because Jennifer was drinking so heavily. I mean, she went from the champs to, oh, this wine is good. It's very good. Oh my God, this wine is very good. I mean, it was a lot. I mean, the entertainment for me was watching all the faces of the guests and watching Heather's face. She was so appalled. I said, oh, this is great. Finding out that Ryan has never held a job was very interesting, and that he used to gamble for a living. That too was very interesting. I said, oh, wow. I remember at the first episode that Jennifer was on, she said that she said that he worked for some Airbnb. No, ma'am. I think she meant he rents Airbnbs down in Hawaii when he goes down there by himself, just him and the dog. Something is odd about that. It really is. But then the shoes with the athletic socks. The fact that he says that he never wears shoes or socks. I find that odd. I really do. I don't know any grown people who rarely wear shoes and socks. It was weird for me. And I think it was weird for me that he mentioned it. Dude, keep that a secret. And I don't know why she didn't tell him that those half socks or whatever he had on, those are not appropriate with those shoes. I almost would have rather seen him with no socks at all than what he was doing. I don't know what that man was doing, but I'm not here for it. Anyway, this dinner was very interesting. It really was. When he said, you need to stop drinking, she had just told the waiter to fill her glass all the way up. You know how it's appropriate to fill the glass halfway? She said fill it all the way up and every time. That's what she said, not me, honey. I'm just saying. After watching this, I feel bad for Rye. Yeah, Rye. I feel bad for Rye because she's drinking a lot. And I noticed that every episode, when we see her, she is having several drinks. And this man doesn't drink at all. And Terry was completely shocked. Went on to ask this man about his whole life. No, never had alcohol ever. No weed, no kind of drugs. I mean, just too much. And I said, remember when Terry asked Shane those same questions? What is wrong with him? Can people live a drug-free life? I mean, stop it, Terry DeBro. And Terry made some kind of comment about he can't imagine being a man married to a doctor. What exactly do you mean by that, Terry? Are you telling me that you might be a chauvinist? What is happening here? Why can't a man be married to a doctor? I happen to know a few men who are married to doctors, and they seem to be okay. They have their own careers, and they're able to hold the household down just like the wife is. Stop, Terry DeBro. I'm starting to look at you with a little suspect eye. I'm just saying. At the end, when Terry said they were a mess, I have to agree 100%. Those people are a mess. And I am looking forward to next week's episode. Get down in the comments and let me know what you think. And until next time, bye.